too. Now, let's get to the big issues of the day, including the Tranz-Alpine with journalist Nicky Styris, who is here this morning. Good morning, Nicky.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you back in the morning.
So nice to see you again, Ryan.
And Simon Wilson from the Herald is here as well. Good morning.
Morning, Ryan.
Good to see you both. Now, the Tranz-Alpine cost, Simon, you must be absolutely outraged by this.
Oh, absolutely. There's something terribly wrong where KiwiRail's model is geared to tourism and not to local travel. So the Tranz-Alpine is the worst example, but the other distance train travel in New Zealand, the Auckland to Wellington Northern Explorer service, is also very expensive. It should not be more expensive for people to travel by train than to get on a plane, and yet it's so significantly more expensive that the train option isn't real for most people. Those trips are terrific. The Auckland to Wellington one especially is a great way for a lot of people to make that trip if they want to, except that it costs so much more.
Costs so much, but also, because I've actually looked at it before when planes were really expensive and gone, oh, that looks beautiful. I'd actually love to do it.
And you get your travel time. You can work the whole day if you're on the train if you like.
Or look out the window at the beautiful view.
Because it is a beautiful view.
But then also the schedule. I mean, it's not like it's going to be it's ever going to be a really regular thing.
But if you're travelling occasionally from one city to the other,
Yep.
it ought to be a real option.
Yep. Nicky, thoughts on trains?
Well, I don't know a lot about the trains, but what I can tell you is that I've got friends who try to go down to Otago to see their kids at university, and the cost just to get to Auckland, Dunedin and return is like $800. You know, that's more than it costs often to go to a place like Sydney. There's a real demand-supply issue in this country, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but air travel is out of control, expensive as well. So I don't know. There's some big issues there, isn't there?
We could always just walk. I mean, that's what,
Ride a bike, you mean?
Yeah, or a bike. That's what we used to do. Actually, I thought
You never did that.
Tell us about that.
I thought of you, Simon. Last week I was in Australia, and I was right. Not only did I get I didn't get on it actually. I came close to getting on the light rail, but I hired a bike and rode along the cycle lanes in this is near the Gold Coast. They've got a massive one.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
And it goes along the waterfront, but then it also goes on the road, and they make the cars go one way. And I thought of you, and this is quite nice.
Oh.
You thought of me. I love that.
Yeah.
How long did it last, Ryan? Like about 1 minute for you? And
Yeah.
you got off?
And then I got back.
Cycleways can work, yeah. Light rail's good too.
They can work. But then I got back in the car and I was like, no, this is stupid.
Exactly. And he's back.
Yeah. And you were stuck in traffic, yeah?
Yeah, stuck in traffic, exactly, and cursing all the cyclists. Now we've had a story this morning about NCA changes that are coming, Nicky, and one of the subjects that they're going to make vocational, so it won't count towards your your NCA credits qualifications anymore, is outdoor education. Did you ever do that at school?
It's funny you should ask me that, because my whole career has been based around outdoor education. I did outdoor education as a subject at school, which I obviously was very passionate about and enjoyed. I went on to university where I did my physical education degree. So immediately there's still a tertiary education option there for outdoor education, yet you won't be able to do it as part of NCEA, which is a little bit strange. From that point, I went and became a phys ed teacher where I taught outdoor education. Then I went back into journalism, sports journalism, and well, here we are today. So there is still definitely a career pathway there. So I'm a little bit disillusioned that that's going to be taken out of the NCEA qualifications.
And there's such a big industry, outdoor education industry here, that you could, outdoor, pursuits industry.
And especially, you might agree with this, Simon, with devices, the way that, youngsters these days and probably people like us spend so much time on devices. Having that outdoor education option in schools is so good for your mental health, your physical health.
You'd kind of want to make it compulsory almost,
I
wouldn't you?
entirely agree.
I've been overseas in places where they have outdoor guides for adventure tourism, and chances are they're trained here. So you're quite right, the infrastructure is here. To cut it off at the base level seems particularly weird. It's part of a context of apparently trying to refocus school education on kids going to university. Lots of kids are not going to go to university. In fact, most kids are not going to go to university.
No, they're not, because the world's changing.
So there needs to be that breadth of education that's recognised, and at the same time, as you say, outdoor education is a fantastic life skill.
Yeah,
It's a life skill, and it's the mental health element too. I think it's so important.
Hey, do you reckon Winston would ever? We had him on the show this morning. He was
saw that.
a little bit cantankerous.
Only a little.
Only a little.
Yeah.
But I think he also enjoys himself. A bit of both. But Simon, this idea that if he can force regime change within Labour, then he will potentially go with them after the next election.
I think it's called gamesmanship, and political gamesmanship, and he loves playing it, so you're right, I'm sure he is completely enjoying himself. There is no sign at the moment that Labour's likely to change its leader. They appear to be doing rather well, particularly for a government that got really thrown out of office only a couple of years ago. They're still there. They're still there and thereabouts for the election next year. I don't know why Labour would feel that they're doing badly, so why would they change their leader?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. Yeah.
There seems to be more discussion around the leadership of Luxon as opposed to Hipkins, so I don't know. But Winston will never rule anything out because Winston likes to play the game. But I do like his policy going up to 10% on KiwiSaver.
I like making it compulsory.
I think it's absolutely
We would be
essential.
a far wealthier country if it had happened way back in 75.
Yep. Short-term gain for long-term. Short-term pain for long-term gain.
It has to happen at some point, and then the question becomes, how do you
pay for it,
compensate for it, and how do you fund that compensation? Right? Hey, good to see you both. Thanks so much for coming in, Simon Wilson and Nicky Styris on our panel this morning. Time now is 8:30. We'll get to the morning's headlines with Neva in just a second. But first, police...